Self-belief is the unseen foundation upon which every meaningful achievement is built. It is the core that determines whether a person will rise in the face of adversity or collapse under the weight of doubt. Success does not begin with wealth, status, or opportunity. It begins with a choice and internal decision to believe in one's own capacity to create, to overcome, and to achieve. Without that decision, even the most gifted individual can fall short of their potential. With it, however, the ordinary becomes extraordinary, and barriers that once seemed immovable suddenly become stepping stones. Every human being has dreams. Everyone, at some point, imagines a better version of themselves or envisions a future filled with more meaning, more freedom, more success. But if we look honestly, how many of those dreams ever materialize? For most, the dream fades into the background of daily struggles, drowned out by fear, insecurity, and the reason is not a lack of resources or intelligence. It is the absence of belief. You cannot build a skyscraper on sand, and in the same way, you cannot build a life of greatness on a foundation of doubt. Belief is the seed of transformation. It is the moment you shift from I hope to I will. That shift may look small on the surface, but it creates a complete change in the way you act, speak, and make decisions. When someone truly believes, they approach challenges with a different energy. They no longer see obstacles as dead ends, but as opportunities to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. Belief doesn't erase difficulty, but it equips you with the mindset that says, no matter what comes, I will find a way. Think of the great pioneers, innovators, and leaders throughout history. They were not immune to failure, nor did they always have the support of others. In fact, many were laughed at, criticized, and even rejected. But what allowed them to persevere was an unwavering trust in themselves and in their vision. They understood that the world doesn't hand out certainty. It offers uncertainty cloaked in challenges. And only those with self-belief have the courage to walk into that uncertainty and carve a path forward. Self-belief changes how you interpret setbacks. For someone without belief, failure is the end. It is proof that they were not good enough. But for someone with belief, failure is information. It is feedback. It is fuel. They ask different questions. Not, why me? But what can I learn? How can I grow? What's the next move? This mindset turns failure into a teacher rather than a judge. And over time, this way of thinking transforms ordinary persistence into extraordinary resilience. But self-belief does not come from chance. It must be cultivated. You build it through decisions, through actions, through repeatedly stepping into discomfort and proving to yourself that you are capable. Every small victory strengthens belief. Every time you honor your word, keep your promise, and push yourself beyond your comfort zone, you lay another brick in the foundation of self-belief. Eventually, that foundation becomes so solid that no storm of doubt can shake it. The danger is that many people wait. They wait for proof before they believe. They wait for external validation before they trust themselves. They wait until circumstances are perfect before they commit. But life does not work that way. Belief must come first. The world will always reflect back what you project. If you project doubt, you attract hesitation and resistance. If you project belief, you attract support, opportunity, and momentum. Belief is not the reward for success. It is the prerequisite. Consider this. You can hand to people the same set of tools, the same resources, and the same instructions. One will succeed, and the other will fail. The difference will not be the tools. It will be the mindset. The one who believes will use those tools creatively, persist through the difficulty, and refuse to quit. The one who doubts will give up at the first setback and blame the tools, the instructions, or the circumstances. Belief is the invisible advantage. The truth is, no one else can believe for you. Others can inspire you, encourage you, or even doubt. Ooh, but the responsibility of belief is yours alone. It is a decision you make every morning when you wake up. Do you believe in your own capacity to shape your life? Or do you surrender to the idea that life is happening to you? That single decision influences every action you take, every word you speak, and every opportunity you seize or miss. And let's be clear, belief is not arrogance. It is not pretending you have no weaknesses or ignoring your flaws. True belief acknowledges imperfection, but chooses to focus on possibility. It says, yes, I may not know everything. Yes, I may fail. Yes, I may stumble, but I trust myself enough to take the step anyway. That kind of belief attracts growth. It attracts wisdom. It attracts progress. If you want to measure the strength of your belief, look at your actions. Belief is not just an idea in the mind. It is a force that moves your feet, your hands, your voice. People who truly believe don't just speak about their dreams. They pursue them with conviction. They don't wait for conditions to be perfect. They create progress out of imperfection. They don't need permission from the world to act because they already gave themselves permission through belief. So the question is, how deeply do you believe in yourself? Do you believe enough to keep going when no one is watching? Do you believe enough to rise after failure? Do you believe enough to endure criticism, rejection, and doubt from others? Because belief tested in comfort is not real belief. Real belief is proven in the moments when it would be easier to quit. But you decide to push forward, and here is the beauty of it. Self-belief is contagious. When you embody it, others feel it. Your energy inspires people. Your conviction creates momentum. Your determination makes others ask themselves if they, too, can believe more deeply. In this way, belief not only transforms your own life, but becomes a spark that lights change in others. This is why self-belief is not optional. It is essential. It is the foundation upon which every achievement rests. Without it, the house of your dreams collapses at the first storm. With it, you can build a life that stands the test of time. It is the force that turns vision into reality, potential into performance, and struggle into triumph. Self-belief is, and always will be, the key to success. Belief is not something you stumble upon. It is something you cultivate every day through choices, habits, and perspective. The way you see yourself creates the limits of what you can achieve. If you see yourself as weak, you will behave weakly. If you see yourself as capable, your actions will carry strength. The human mind is constantly searching for evidence to prove itself right. When you choose belief, your mind begins to collect proof of your strength, your growth, and your resilience. But if you choose doubt, your mind will also find endless reasons why you cannot succeed. The choice of belief or doubt becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. What you believe about yourself sets the thermostat for your life. You can turn down the heat of your potential by convincing yourself you're not ready, not talented, not worthy, or you can raise it, reminding yourself that no one is born ready. But readiness is built through courage and persistence. Once you decide that you are worthy of success, your entire outlook shifts. You stop asking for permission and start creating opportunities. You stop waiting for the right moment and begin making the moment right. Too many people live their lives shackled by the opinions of others. They allow the doubts of family, friends, or society to write their story. But you cannot live a life of fulfillment if your belief system is built on someone else's fear. People will always project their insecurities onto you. They will tell you that your dream is too big, too unrealistic, or too risky, not because it is impossible, but because they themselves never dared to believe. If you accept their doubts, you inherit their limitations. If you choose to believe, you break free from them and create your own destiny. Belief is an act of courage. It is not easy to stand firm when others doubt you, when circumstances challenge you, The evidence seems stacked against you. But courage does not mean the absence of fear. Courage means you act in spite of it. When you believe in yourself, you don't wait for fear to disappear, you step forward, knowing that fear will shrink as your faith grows. One of the most powerful aspects of self-belief is how it transforms obstacles. Imagine facing a wall. To the doubtful mind, the wall is the end of the road. To the believing mind, the wall is a puzzle. Can I climb over it? Can I dig under it? Can I go around it? Can I break through it? Self-belief doesn't erase the wall, it changes your relationship with it. Suddenly, what looked like a dead end becomes an invitation to grow, to stretch, to innovate. And once you overcome that wall, your belief expands even more, preparing you for the next challenge. There will always be moments when self-belief feels fragile. Life can hit hard, stripping away your confidence and making you question everything. But those are the moments that matter most. When you are down, when you are tired, when the results are not coming, this is the test of belief. Anyone can believe when life is easy. True self-belief is forged in the fire of adversity. Each time you choose to believe despite setbacks, you strengthen the muscle of resilience. And like any muscle, it grows with use. Belief also requires responsibility. To say, I believe in myself, is not just positive thinking, is a commitment. It means you are willing to hold yourself accountable, to show up, to keep going when excuses would be easier. Belief demands action. Without action, belief is nothing more than a comforting illusion. But with action, belief becomes a force of nature. Every step you take confirms to yourself that your faith is not misplaced. Every decision, every effort, every sacrifice builds a momentum that compounds over time. When you operate from self-belief, your energy changes. You speak differently. You carry yourself differently. You engage with the world differently. People are drawn to that energy. Opportunities seem to appear. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. Your belief creates clarity, and clarity attracts direction. People begin to see you as someone who gets things done, someone who can be trusted, someone who is moving forward. That trust from others is not the foundation, it is the reflection of the belief you already had in yourself. Think about the alternative. A life lived in doubt is a life. Doubt keeps you stuck in hesitation, trapped in the endless loop of what if. It robs you of the richness of experience, the joy of progress, and the fulfillment of growth. The tragedy of doubt is not that you failed, is that you never try. You never discover how capable you truly are. Self-belief, on the other hand, may not guarantee that you succeed on the first attempt, but it guarantees that you will learn, adapt, and try again until you do. The most successful people are not those who never face fear or failure. They are those who refuse to let those experiences define them. They rewrote the story. They used every setback as fuel. They used every criticism as motivation. They used every failure as feedback. What allowed them to keep going was not blind optimism, but a deep-rooted belief that their vision mattered and that they had the strength to see it through. So ask yourself, what would your life look like if you chose, from this day forward, to fully believe in yourself? How much more would you attempt? How much more would you risk? How much more would you create? The gap between where you are and where you want to be is often not skill, not resources, not opportunity. It is belief. Close that gap, and everything else begins to align. Belief is the ignition. It is the spark that lights the fire of achievement. Once ignited, that fire must be fed with discipline, persistence, and vision. But without the spark, the fire never starts. If you want to change your life, start by changing what you believe about yourself. Decide that you are enough, that you are capable, that you are ready, and then prove it to yourself every single day through action. The power of self-belief is not just about achieving goals. It is about transforming identity. When you believe, You are no longer the person who waits for life to happen. You become the person who makes life happen. You no longer live as a victim of circumstance. You rise as a creator of destiny. This shift changes everything. It changes how you show up in your career, in your relationships, in your health, in your contribution to the world. At the end of the day, the greatest gift you can give yourself is belief, because once you have it, nothing is truly impossible. The resources will come. The skills will come. The opportunities will come. But they will only come to the one who first decides, deep within, I can, I will, I must. That is the heartbeat of self-belief. That is the essence of success. So, stand tall. Silence the voices of doubt. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop asking if you are ready. You are ready. The moment you choose to believe, the door to success is not locked. It is waiting for you to turn the key. And that key is in your hands. It has always been in your hands. Believe in yourself. Step forward and unlock the life you are meant to live.